The first week of the NBA season has concluded. That means knee-jerk reactions. People want to trade. People just are sick of their guys. That means we can take advantage of the situation. We're talking sell highs and buy lows. Let's do it. G'day guys, I'm D-Mac from NBA Fantasy Bible here on the Believe in Fantasy Basketball Network. Like I said, the first week is concluded. We're going to look at sell highs and buy lows. I've got 10 names for you, sell high, and 10 names to buy low as well. Some pretty obvious names as well, some real breakouts as well, but we're going to take advantage of that situation. Let's get into it, shall we? Here we go. Starting with the most traded players over the last 24 hours here on Yahoo. Top 10 traded today. Number 1 is Thompson. People are worried. So like I said, we're going to take you through the numbers of the first week and just rest assured that we can buy low on Thompson. If you do have do not sell low because that's the worst thing that you can do in terms of value. Next is Paolo Banchero. Third is Rudy Gobert. Fourth is Cooper Flagg. Had a much better game yesterday. However, I still think he can be a buy low, but it is a little bit more difficult to get him now just because he did have that, I would say not a breakout game, but a much more improved game last night. Number 5 is Trae Young. Yeah, slow start to the season. The Hawks are 1-2, so let's see how that plays out. But yeah, again, a buy low situation. He's one of our 10 that we'll go through tonight. VJ Edgecombe, Bam Adebayo is in 7th. 8th is Cade Cunningham. 9th is KD. That's more a sell high. And 10th is Devin Booker, another buy low, which we'll go through very, very shortly. Now, taking you through my personal buy lows. Starting with Thompson. Just look at the numbers. Just 2 games so far to start the season. 2 games in week 1. But it's the shooting percentages. We sort of come to expect free throws to be quite disappointing for Thompson. A punt free throw build is fantastic, having Thompson in your team. But a field goal percentage of only 40% on really low volume as well. He's just not being aggressive enough on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end. Only 0.5 steals, so 1 steal across 2 games and 1 block across 2 games. Very unlike Thompson. It's practically why we've brought Thompson into our teams. Second rounder in a lot of drafts that I was participating in, 2nd or 3rd round, but definitely in the 2nd round. So for him to perform at this level, you can see the rankings. 9cat, 309th. 9cat -1, where you take away the worst category, 312th. And in points league, a little bit better, but still disappointing nonetheless, 144th. Man's also been in foul trouble, so that's impacted his ability to remain aggressive on the defensive end. Buy low, he will get better. The Rockets are finding their feet. They're trying to find some synergy. They're starting with Steven Adams at the center. I don't know if that will last the entire season. Perhaps they start with Reed Shepherd as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. Perhaps Thompson playing off ball may actually help his fantasy value as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But buy low, number 1 for me. Number 2, Shaedon Sharpe. What can I say? He's putting up a ton of shots. There's volume shots there, and he's actually getting some steals. 1.3 steals. Again, very small sample size. These guys have only played 2 or 3 games. Shaedon Sharpe, Portland Trailblazers, 3 games so far, but shot horribly from the field. 28.8% on pretty high volume. But that gives me confidence that he can turn that around, because once he does get his shot, he finds his groove, man, that's 17.0 points per game could easily go up to 25. Those shots start going down, his fantasy value skyrockets. The steals are really nice, 1.3 steals. The turnovers are of concern as well, because he's not the point guard, but he is handling the ball a fair bit. So all of this bodes well for his value. It's just finding his shot, but it'll come. It'll come with time, and I have every confidence in him. He's one of my breakout candidates for this season as well. Next one, Myles Turner. He's been okay, just really average. You can see that 9cat ranking of 120th, -1, 111th, and points 96. So not terrible. And his blocks have been fine. 2.3 blocks per game is still really good, but it's the field goal percentage. We typically see that closer to 50% throughout his career, 34.4% across the first 3 games, 50% from the line, still small volume, low volume there at the line. However, it's really the field goal percentage, which then in turn impacts his points per game as well. He's not going to get monster amount of rebounds. We know that about Myles Turner. The assists are still nice. The steals can come up a little bit, but it's really just the shooting that's let him down so far. So an easy turnaround. And again, just finding his place on that team as well. There's a few injuries going through the Bucks. They don't have a traditional point guard at the moment. They're playing Ryan Rollins there. Cole Anthony played a little bit. We know that KPJ was out injured in the first game. Giannis is obviously a high usage guy, but if Myles Turner can get free, start hitting his shots, I think that value turns around very, very quickly. So an easy buy low for me. Next one, another big man and a guy that I was really big on coming into this season, but he's disappointed in the first week. Jakob Poeltl, NICAT ranking of 237th, minus one, 195th, and in points league, 175th. So a little bit better there. However, it's coming down to the big man stats. The rebound, 6.3 is disappointing for him, and the blocks at 0.3 is extremely disappointing. He can increase the assists as well. The field goal percentage is always nice, and of course, the free throws do hurt you when we come to expect that. Again, a perfect fit for a punt free throw build, but again, I still think that he can be a top 60 type of guy this season. So buy low, 237th at 9K, definitely buy low. Only 22.6 minutes per game for Jakob Poeltl across the first 3 games. It's foul trouble, guys. Keep that in mind. Buy low and buy low with confidence for Jakob Poeltl. Next one, Dyson Daniels. He went in the 3rd, sometimes the 4th round of a lot of the drafts that I went in. I have not got any stocks of Dyson Daniels in. Loved him last season, got him really late. However, it's another season this season. He's been disappointing, but he can turn it around. It's still early. Only 3 games for the Atlanta Hawks. 27.4 minutes per game can definitely come up. It's the shooting, the field goal percentage, the free throws. He's never been a good free throw shooter, and I don't think he ever will be. The threes, he can hit more threes as well. Only 1 3 across the first 3 games. The points are of concern. The steals are still there. We'd love to get that closer to 3 steals per game, like we have seen over last season. And the blocks are okay as well. So easy changes to his game, a few extra minutes as well. And the shot just needs to start hitting. The steals are just come. And we know that he can pump out a 5, 6, 7 steal game. And all of a sudden, his fantasy value shoots up, particularly in category leagues. I'm okay buying low. I wouldn't go too high for him, but yes, you can buy low on Dyson Daniels at this stage, and I'm confident that he returns that as well. Next one, Rudy Gobert. So a little bit inexplicable, a little bit older, but I think it just comes down to the block rate. Only 1 block per game from someone who's a perennial defensive player of the year candidate. So I think he can definitely improve on that. The free throws have always been of concern. That's reflected in his 9K ranking, and we've seen that across pretty much his entire career. But right now, 191st in 9Cat, 128th in -1. You take away those free throws, obviously the value skyrockets there. But it's the rebounds, it's the blocks can definitely improve. Some steals as well, and the points. He just needs to be a little bit more aggressive for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We heard that Anthony Edwards will probably miss a couple of games. It hasn't been confirmed just yet, but he's dealing with some hamstring tightness at this stage. I don't think that means extra usage for Rudy Gobert, but that could just mean that they go to him a little bit more and try to find a different angle of offense without Anthony Edwards there. So we'll see how that plays out over the next few games. But I think across the entire course of the season, Rudy Gobert should be a top 60, top 70 type of guy. So 191, definitely buy low on Rudy Gobert. Next one, Trae Young. We know that the field goal percentage is of concern at all times. We know that, but 38.6 is particularly low for Trae Young. The turnovers are actually okay. Usually it's the turnovers that hurt you, but that is also reflected in his lowered assists. So 7.0 assists per game when he was close to, I think he was the league leader last season, closer to that 10 assist mark per game. So 7.0 assists can definitely shoot up. I think it's just reflective of the Atlanta Hawks missing a few pieces. Kristaps Porzingis has only played 1 game. Jalen Johnson has missed time as well. The synergy is not quite there. So I think that's also reflected in Trae Young's value. So once that starts getting into flow for the entire team, I think Trae Young will regain that confidence and then help us all as well. So buy low on Trae Young right now because I think you'll reap the dividends later on. Next one, Devin Booker, first rounder in a lot of drafts that I saw. He's not performing at a first round rate, but he's trying to facilitate a lot more. So 5.7 assists is nice. I think that can come up even more. 6.0 turnovers. So that assist to turnover ratio is not ideal whatsoever. But of course, people like myself like to punt turnovers. The nightcap -1 still means he's 59th. So that's still quite disappointing for him, where we spent close to a first round pick on Devin Booker. I think he turns it around. It's the threes as well. The threes aren't going in, but the field goal percentage is still very elite. The field goal percentage is great. Free throw percentage is also very good at high volume. So I think the crux of everything that we need is here. The minutes is fantastic, 33.6 minutes per game, but it really comes down to the assists and also reducing those turnovers just a little bit. But the defensive stats, 0.3 steals. He's never going to be a Dyson Daniels in terms of his perimeter defense, but he can get better than 0.3 steals per game. So just minor alterations. And I think that value definitely skyrockets very, very shortly for Devin Booker. No concerns whatsoever. Next is another guard, Josh Giddey, but I say guard, he's sort of playing a little bit off of the point guard duties because Trae Jones has come in. He's playing for Kobe White at this stage. Kobe White's probably going to be back in another week or so. So Trae Jones, I expect to continue starting. Trae Jones is a traditional point guard. Josh Giddey is still got the assist, 7.0 assists. So by no means is that terrible. It's actually very good. However, I think that can increase once Kobe White is there. Kobe White's more of a shooter than Trae Jones, obviously. So I think Josh Giddey's numbers increase for assists, also for rebounds as well. 0.5 steals, so only one steal across the first 2 games. Small sample size, I know, but I think that definitely increases. 9-cap ranking of 145th, 9-cap -1, 106th. The field goal percentage is quite poor at this stage, still putting up a lot of shots, so 20 points per game, but 40% from the field, I think he can improve on. Points league, of course, much, much better perform because it doesn't take into the efficiency from the field as well. So with that in mind, I think he can definitely increase that, but it may take a little bit of time just to find his groove alongside of Trae Jones. And then eventually when Kobe White does return for the Bulls, I think all is well. He'll be an easy top 50 for me, easily. And the final buy low, someone that I traditionally avoid is Paolo Banchero. However, I think he can definitely improve his play. The shots aren't going down. Field goal percentage is terrible, 34%. Free throws we know is always going to be of concern. It's the high volume. 75% is actually not too bad, but it's the volume that kills you. So 9.3 free throw attempts per game definitely hurts you. It's hard to recover from that. That's not Giannis level terrible, but it is difficult to recover from that high volume below 80% free throw percentage. But it's the field goal percentage, but also just the lack of steals as well. But I think Banchero, we know about the holes in his 9-cat game. We know that. But in a points league situation, 61st for someone that I think can be close to a first rounder in points leagues, I think he's got a definite room for improvement there. Still finding his way with the Magic as well in terms of the synergy with Desmond Bane and a few of the other guys, Suggs as well, coming in and out of the lineup. So once they get some synergy, the chemistry will grow. I think that'll help Paolo Banchero's long-term fantasy value. Now, moving to the sell highs. Poster boy is Aaron Gordon, of course, with a 50 piece the other night. Absolutely outstanding. Only 2 games so far for the Denver Nuggets. So, of course, NICAT ranking of 3rd, which is crazy good for Aaron Gordon. He's just getting better with age. I think he's 30 years old now. But that one game was a huge outlier. I don't think he repeats that anytime soon. And if he does, well, I'll eat my words. However, he's a huge sell high right now. I don't know if you convince too many people at this stage that this can continue, but perhaps people think that his shooting stroke just looks amazing. So they're willing to spend maybe a top 40 type of guy for Aaron Gordon. So you take that in a jiffy. So I'm happy with that. The field goal percentage, the free throw percentage, the 3 points, of course, 10 3-pointers in that first game. It's not going to happen again. 33.5 points. Across 2 games, when he had 50 in one game, yeah, definitely coming down. However, when you just look at the weekly ranking or the overall ranking right now, you see him at 3rd place in 9-cat, 14th in points leagues. Yeah, you take advantage where you can. However, I don't know if you can pull the wool over too many people's eyes. but a lot of knee-jerk reactions. And I've seen a lot of the Yahoo trades at this stage, and there's some crazy ones right now. So you just never know. See what you can do. Use your negotiation skills, and let's see if you can get a top 50 guy for Aaron Gordon. Number 2, Austin Reaves. Now, he had another 50 piece. That was yesterday. Obviously, LeBron's not there. Luka Doncic is going to miss a little bit of time as well. So you may be wondering, why am I saying sell high? Because he's going to be outstanding for the next few games while those superstars are out. But that's the point. This is the time that you want to sell high. Austin Reaves with a 9-cat ranking, a 9-cat -1, and a points league ranking of 5th across the board. Take advantage of that. Maybe you can convince someone that he'll remain as a first rounder or even a second rounder. I probably wouldn't sell for too much lower than that because I had high hopes for Austin Reaves coming into this season anyway. But if you can get yourself a first or a second rounder, I think you make that move now, because if you wait too long and Luka comes back, then of course he's not going to throw up another 50-point game. He may not ever do that ever again, but it was just absolutely outstanding. The shooting splits are unbelievable. The threes, the points, you can see green. Those watching on YouTube, you can see green across the board except for blocks. And Austin Reaves is never going to be a huge blocks guy. So that's expected. Huge sell high. Take advantage right now, because if you wait too long, then it will be difficult to negotiate that trade later on. Next one is Norman Powell, playing really well. Again, the shooting efficiency is outstanding. We've seen this from him in his time at the Raptors, and then, of course, last season at the Clippers. We're seeing it again at the Miami Heat. However, keep in mind, Tyler Hero's not there. There's all sorts of shenanigans going in terms of the starting lineup. We've seen Kel'el Ware enter that starting lineup after he was, I guess, coming off the bench as well. But Norman Powell, he's sort of avoided all of that mess, and he's just putting up some outstanding numbers. 3 3-pointers per game. 7.3 rebounds per game is probably something that I don't expect, and 2.0 steals per game. Again, decent in steals, but I don't expect 2.0. Small sample size, so he's had 6 steals across the first 3 games. Small sample size, I know, but again, if you can use your negotiation skills and say that he can maintain this once Tyler Hero does return, then you get yourself a top 50 guy, top 40, top 50 guy. Take advantage of that. So 9-cat ranking of 12th right now, points league ranking of 25th. Strike now, because I think Tyler Hero's probably got about 3 or 4 weeks until he does return to that lineup, and then a lot of that usage is going to go away. Next one, Kyshawn George. What an outstanding start to his sophomore season. We were big on him. We had a late round flyer episode, and we spoke about Kyshawn George. We spoke about a couple of other Wizards as well. Bilal Coulibaly is currently out at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see where the minutes go when Bilal does return to that lineup, and it should be any day soon. It could be the next game or maybe within the next week anyway. I would still expect that Kyshawn George does continue to start, but where the minutes go from that point will be interesting to watch nonetheless. He started out so hot that I think this is the time that you can sell high. You can ride that wave if you want to, but I think if you can convince, again, it's all about your convincing and your negotiation skills. If you can convince someone, and I've seen some crazy trades for Kyshawn George in packages. If you can convince someone that you can get back a top 40 type of guy, I think you do that. Someone tweeted me the other day saying they were offered Joel Embiid for Kyshawn George. And yes, I've got my concerns about Embiid's health, but I think you've got to do something like that with the upside. And I guess a little bit of uncertainty with the minutes once the Wizards are completely healthy. So do that. But Kyshawn George, wow, outstanding first few games. Great to see, but I think you sell high right now. Next one's Walker Kessler. And there's a couple of reasons why I want to sell high. Some of those numbers are unsustainable. The steal rate of 2.5, again, only 2 games played for the Utah Jazz. So 5 steals across the first 2 games. Don't think that continues. Haven't seen that from him before. 2.0 blocks per game, that's fine. I expect that. 9 rebounds, he could even improve on that one, but he's hitting threes as well. Is he all of a sudden a sniper? The reason why I really want to sell high is not just because of that 9-cat ranking of 23rd, -1 ranking of 17th, and that points league ranking of 40th, but also I am very scared of the Utah Jazz resting or maintenance or tanking, if you will, of guys like Walker Kessler, Larry Markkinen, similar guys at the Nets as well. So Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., Nick Claxton. These are the types of guys that I'd love to sell high on. The other guys aren't performing at this type of level. So sell high while you can, because I think later in the season, when it comes to fantasy playoffs, it could burn you. So sell high while you can. I don't think you get yourself a top 20 or 30 guy like the rankings indicate at this stage. But if you can get yourself a top 40 guy, I would do that in a jiffy. Next one, Malik Monk. He's doing a lot of great work in only 24 minutes per game. It's coming down to the shooting efficiency. It's outstanding. He's hitting 4 3-pointers a game off the bench. So we knew about Malik Monk. He can heat up at any stage. He's a great scorer. He can provide some good assists as well, but it's the stocks. You look at the 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks per game. Again, a small sample size, 3 games. But this is where you can exploit people. And I hate to use that term, but you can convince them that this can be maintained. And if anything, you could even say, you could argue that those minutes go up as well. I don't know if he remains a top 100 guy, or I don't know if he gets above that 25 minute per game mark at this stage. He's not starting. Dennis Schroeder is still the starting point guard for the Sacramento Kings. Domantas Sabonis is back in that lineup, but the shooting efficiency and the stocks is what's doing it for him at the moment. So sell high while you can on Malik Monk. Rookie sensation, VJ Edgecombe. What a start to his career. First game was outstanding. Second game, not as outstanding, but still, you look at the weekly ranking or the ranking at the moment, 34th in 9-cat, 32nd in -1, and 15 in points. Struggles from the line a little bit, 2.5 from 4.0 free throw attempts. So that is not good. However, all his other numbers pop. The threes, the points, the rebounds, the assists, which is somewhat surprising, and the steals as well. He's an excitement machine. I love him for the future. I think he can be a top 50, top 60 type of dynasty guy. I don't think he can be that guy this season, particularly when you have guys like Paul George, Jared McCain still to return as well. Quentin Grimes is lighting it up as well. I don't know if VJ Edgecombe can maintain this. Embiid is going to get more usage as well as time goes on. So if you can sell high, and there's a lot of hype, and I have seen some trades again, the transactions for VJ Edgecombe, some of them have been quite remarkable. So you can get yourself a top 50 type of guy right now. Go and grab that, because I don't think he ends up like that at the end of the season. I'd love to be proven wrong, because I love the excitement and the hype that he's bringing to Philly basketball once again. But I just don't think he'll remain a top 50 guy come season end. We're almost there, guys. Now, this one I never thought I would be talking about RJ Barrett as a sell high, but he is. And it comes down to the field goal percentage. It's 67.6%, where throughout his career, he's been below that 50% mark. Free throws, we know that he struggles from the free throw line. It's the points. So the field goal percentage, because that's high, that's translated into some nice points as well. And that's quite remarkable, seeing that Brandon Ingram's there. You've still got Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl not doing as much as I'd like. But RJ Barrett is actually playing really good basketball right now. 9-cat, and a lot of 9-cat leagues, he went almost undrafted, or he went in the last round, I think, just because people needed points. They'll go, okay, I'll just take a bit of a flyer on RJ Barrett. And it's turned out to be pretty good so far, but I don't think that maintains. That 67.6% shooting from the field is not going to be sustainable. So sell high. If you're in points, I'm okay with holding him in points. I think he's a top 50 guy in points leagues, but in a category league, I'd be loving it if you could get yourself a top 60, top 70 type of guy. Again, I think people that have played fantasy basketball for any period of time understand that RJ Barrett is quite impactful in a negative way on 9-cat. However, if you can convince someone that he's turned it around, go and do that. You take yourself a top 60 guy any day of the week. So go and grab that. Next one, Mikal Bridges. Efficiency used to be his middle name. We're finding it again. Maybe this is Phoenix Suns Mikal Bridges. I just don't think the 1.7 steals and 1.0 blocks maintains. The 2.0 3-pointers, I think that's fine. The field goal percentage above 50%, it's nice to see again, because that's what we saw at the Suns. Again, only 3 games, so small sample size. But when you've got yourself a ranking, and people look at these rankings all the time, special shout out to #basketball as well. You can see that on screen for all of these rankings. 24th and 9-cat. 9-cat -1 is 33rd. And in a points league, we know he's not as effective. So 44th in points leagues. Get yourself a top 50 guy because I don't think this is sustainable. It's been a great start to the season for him. However, like I said, go and get yourself a top 50 guy because I can't see that maintaining just because of the high usage guys on the Knicks as well around him. And finally, speaking of the Knicks, a former Knick, Julius Randle, doing great guns, fantastic basketball at the Minnesota Timberwolves. We heard, and I mentioned it when I was talking about Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards could be out for a little bit of time with some hamstring issues. Don't know how long at this stage. Nothing's confirmed at the time of recording. But Julius Randle, even before the Anthony Edwards injury, he was playing some outstanding basketball. And again, it comes down to the shooting. 57.4 from the field is something that we're not always used to from Julius Randle. Everything else seems to check out. So we know that he can get you some nice assists from the forwards position. The rebounds can actually go up. We've seen rebounds closer to the 8-9 mark for Julius Randle throughout his career. 2.7 3-pointers, again, quite reflective of the shot going down. The field goal percentage is high. The points are really high, and the 3-pointers are going down as well. So a 9-cat ranking of 27th, minus 131st, and in points league, 21st. He's a points league extraordinaire. He's an easy top 50 guy in points leagues. In a category league, if you can get yourself a top 50 guy, you do that trade immediately. Or package him up, see if you can get an upgrade, a nice 2-for-1. Again, know your league, know your league mates, and see what can stick, because I don't think this will stick for Julius Randle. Don't forget to become a Believe in Fantasy Basketball MVP community member. You'll get access to priority DMs and email responses from experts like myself, Robin Marks, and Maddie G. Garrett as well. You'll get exclusive MVP Discord access with all of our experts. So make sure you go and check out the website, believeinfantasy.com. That's a wrap, guys. That's 10 buy lows and 10 sell highs. Let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know if you've got any of those guys on your roster, if you're thinking about trading for them or trading them away as well. I'd love to know what trades are going on at the moment. Very, very interesting after week one. Don't forget, you can find me at YouTube, over on YouTube, at NBA Fantasy Bible. You can follow me. I do some of my best work over on Twitter or X at NBA Fantasy Bible. But until next time, thanks, guys. See ya.